Well, hello, and welcome back to Minecraft 1710 featuring witchery, etc. Bit of a later start today because I was cutting that together a highlight reel of yesterday's suicidal goblins. I would have, just paused the whole thing and started all in time and finished the reel later, but Twitch highlights don't work like that. Attempting to pause in the middle of making a highlight stream allows the stream to restart itself. No matter how many times I pause it, no matter where I put the window. I don't know why we're freezing, but hopefully that stops. But, yeah. No matter how many times you pause the playback, it restarts itself within 5 seconds of losing focus. Very frustrating. I can hear our pistons working, which means our remaining kobold down there is still working. Don't need to check on him. I do want to check on this furnace, because I think this... Aha. I upgraded the furnace, but didn't install upgrades in the furnace. So we need to make a couple of upgrades for this here furnace, so it can process the charcoal faster. And then our limiting factor will be how fast the trees can grow. Right after we do that, I'll get started on our statements of intent from yesterday. Oh right, they're not called upgrades. They're called augments, and always have been. I need a secondary reception, and an overclocked gearbox. There is, sadly, no way to make a machine run more efficiently. Oh hey, igneous extruder upgrades. Neat. We can greatly increase the amount of obsidian produced per operation. Is that a good thing? I don't know. It consumes less water. It would make a difference if it consumed less lava, but I guess we can't have that. And the furnace food specialization doesn't help us upstairs. So, that's 1 gold coil, 2 gold coil, and 2 gold besides. So it's 4 gold. A bunch of redstone, I didn't really count. 4 bronze, 6 bronze, and 2 pyrotheum. I didn't reverse the metals this time. Let's not step on our ember moss. Upgrade the furnace. If this empties out, that means we'll start burning non-birch wood, but honestly, the type of wood we burn makes no difference to me, as long as it burns. We can also, and I know I'm still putting off what I said I'd do, but this sludge pool over here has been an eyesore for as long as we've lived, and I finally have... Ow! How dare you? We don't permit skeletons in the trees. That's not allowed. Go away. Anyway, let's get rid of this sludge pool and turn it into blocks. Though, considering it inflicts wither, I wonder if we could use it in some kind of mob farm setup. As, like, I mean, better than spikes or some kind of attacking blender. Our creatures could just step into this garbage and have this happen. Weakness, wither, nausea. I would like to go get the last of this, but now we're a little stuck. I mean, at this point, I'm almost willing to just dive in to grab the last little blocks of the stuff. Ah, didn't need to. Is it done yet? Still no? Finally. The pool of black garbage is gone. And we will feed it directly to the sludge boiler. There you go. Make us some more clay. Now that that's dealt with, I can do what I set out to do, which is continue growing our gold and diamond primarily. And we also need to make more of these potions to keep our Mindrake farm going. As a very minor aside, we're going to start seeing a lot more flowers. Bees passively plant flowers. It's just a thing they do. So as we continue to bee, the bees will continue to flower. That's not really a good or bad thing, it just kind of is. I'm not concerned about it. We'll be pruning them as we go. Maybe they'll prove useful at some point, somehow. I have no idea. I'm kind of hoping against hope that the functioning bees will improve the growth speed of our crops even more, but I should know better than to expect that. Why would anything ever... Zombie noise? Of course. You can stay in there. I don't need to go in there. Lavender has fully sprouted. Everything else is still working on it. I'm going to want to analyze these bees. Because I don't know what kind of bees these are. And in order to optimize trying to get a common naturally, I'm going to need to have some information to work with. I also might want to analyze these. Unknown bees get scanned when they're part of a project. If they are known pure, I don't have to. And this is just the kind of language that comes out of forestry bee breeding. It sounds a lot like eugenics. To a degree, it probably is. Okay, that is a pure meadows. These are also pure meadows. And this is a mostly pure forest with some other traits. This is a pure forest. I really don't want it to be. Meadows forest. And meadows forest. So I'm going to put the forest with the meadows and see what happens there. Looks like I'm just waiting on my Ferranium. Everything else seems to have sprouted correctly. And the bees have gone quiet because it's nighttime. That happens. There are very few bee species that can work at night. And I don't actually know if they exist in my current mod pack, because I believe they're modded bees. That would be the Rocky Bee, which doesn't exist. That's unfortunate. I kind of need that bee. I guess after today's stream, I'm gonna have to look up what mod provides the Rocky Bee and see if it can be installed. Oh, not that it'll help, because it'll only be findable underground in areas we haven't been. Installing something after the fact that changes terrain generation, not a good idea. How could I do this to myself? Come on already, you stupid plant. Everything else is practically fully grown, we're just waiting on this one Ferenium space to sprout, which at 897 should not be taking this long. Alright, well, if you're going to waste everyone's time, I'm going to move on to more important seeds, get them identified, and come back and see if you'll decide to play ball with the rest of us. Five, 4, 5, 5, 4, 6. It's a step up. 8, 6, 7. 9, 6, 8. That's 2 points. 8, 6, 8. That's not as good. Put away the gold. Now, I would love to have another compacting drawer for diamonds, but it doesn't recognize the diamond nugget as a valid nugget. So I would have diamond, and then diamond block, and no diamond nugget space, making it not really worth the iron that a compacting drawer costs. This darn Ferenium still being stubborn. Well, I can't just sit here and watch it do nothing. Maybe if I replace the crop sticks and shape up. There. I guess all I had to do was reinitialize the crop sticks. Maybe there were invisible weeds there, since I only got 1 stick back instead of 2. Sure would suck if that was the case. Invisible weeds is not something I want to learn exists. We scanned everything. Wait, do I have more of these sitting around? Is something I should ask. No, it would be stacked. Harvest, planting, and frogstone. Could it be in here? Yes, I do have more. Alright, that saves me from having to make some. Back to where we were. 897, 810, 7, 9, 10, 8. 9, 10, 8 is 3 points. 9, 9, 10, 9, 9, 10, 10, 10, 10. Perfect Lepender. 9, 9, 10, 10, 9, 10, 9, 9, 10. Red Stodendron is getting closer. And these clippings can go. I don't need those. They were just markers for what I needed to do today. Perfect 10 Lependers. Certainly an achievement. Our bees are continue. Oh, the commons are already dead. They must have a shorter lifespan. Actually, these were put in late, so that's why this is still going. The others seem to be all just doing their thing. So we'll flip them over and let these untreated frames decay. Frames increase the amount of combs that bees produce. You can put up to 3 frames in an apiary. Bee houses can't accept any. They're the primitive form of apiary. And then there are other ways to increase the output of bees, but that's all it does. It increases the number of combs that bees produce while working. These untreated frames are the weakest, but they're also the cheapest. There are also treated frames, which we can make from seed oil in a squeezer, etc., etc. And proven frames, which can only be bought from forestry apiarist villagers. We have a few proven frames that we've taken from, from the relevant villagers, and I can use my magical reconstructor doodad to keep it in good repair. But the untreated frames, they're nothing. We can let those get destroyed. Now, how about this thing? Show me Mindrake Harvest. Oh, this one's not fully grown. This one's not fully grown. But that's fine. A whole field -2. That gets us 10. It looks like it also harvested the ones that weren't ready. Which is strange, but I'll take it. Ten more Mindrakes. This is not the right... No! I want to go this way. Oh well. I guess we're taking a peek at our animals, which we haven't seen in a couple of days. Cats, dogs, frogs, owls. All is well. Didn't really need to come look, but we did anyway. I meant to go have a look at the goblin situation. We have 24 koboldite. Progress is indeed happening. Our one laborer here is doing, his best. Could be better. But his labor is going to be adequate. We still need the rest of our bee lab. But in order to do that, we need more gold. Mostly gold. Also, tons more diamonds. So, let's get back into the mines. See if we can't find more diamonds, especially more diamond ore. which if we still touch more diamond ore, then we can spread our diamond plants out a little better and have a greater diamond crop yield once that crop maxes out. Kind of want to do the same thing with gold here. Once gold and diamonds max out, we can have plenty of both. So, back into the mines we go. I heard a pigman. There's a pigman here. Excuse me. Go away. If we're gonna do this, I'm gonna need my digger pack, my miner pack. Hunter's pack wouldn't go unappreciated. Foresters and apiarists don't really need. And this pouch should probably be at the ready. We can also stand to collect more lava. Always a good choice. I drink your lava. It becomes my lava. Now there is no lava. This area becomes dark. I don't plant any more redstone ore for expanded redstone crops. Could be nice. Doesn't seem important. And let me get some cobblestone on deck. So I can do things like this. I sure would like these resources over here. And I sure would like them not to fall in all this lava. A good old potion of fire resist would do wonders for this. Unfortunately, all of those are by my nether gate, and for good reason. Speaking of which, we just haven't needed to go to the nether for a long time now. Not that that's a bad thing, it's just a little unusual. Oh, my tanks are full. That's why I can't drink anymore. Alright, let's put these away. get on with business. I hear slimes around. Which, as always, is interesting. But I don't think we need any more slime balls. Hello. You just spawned, didn't you? You didn't exist a few moments ago. Alright, this is going to be my method for finding diamonds now. We're going to drill up the ground level. This whole floor is slightly too thick and could have diamond ore hiding under it. So let's tear it all apart. Finding ore alright, just not the ore I want. Is this just going to be what we do? We'll rip up another 3 layers of stone in the hopes of finding diamond? Sadly, yes. That is the intention right now. It's not glamorous. It's not even effective. But it's what we're doing. Now there is a way to create effectively infinite resources from practically nothing in the mod pack I've created. It has to do with Minefactory Reloaded. There are 2 problems with it though. First, it requires a little infrastructure and resource that I don't have access to, or at least that I haven't made yet. And the second is that it takes tons of power. And while I do have unlimited power production, I don't have power production of the scale needed to feed this infinite mining device. It's called a laser drill, and it's one of the original void miners. What it does is it points a laser beam at bedrock and just creates ores from below the bedrock level and outputs them into an adjacent inventory. That's just what it does. And you feed it by supplying power to laser drill prechargers, which are a tech block that just has to be placed near it. It can accept up to 4 of these prechargers. These prechargers, however, need tens of thousands of power. Per ore. And there's no telling what it could bring up. I mean, I say that, but there kind of is telling. There are laser lenses you can make, which tune the device to specific ore types. And you can use these lenses to specify what types of ore you would most like it to pull up. It's based on a weird, arbitrary color coding system. But we're just not going to do that right now. Because while we have ample power, we don't even have the power needed to run our bee genetics machines. And the laser drill is even hungrier than that. Oh, diamond ore. It's also very strange how uncommon gold seems to be. Like, how long did it take us to find the 2 or 3 gold ore we needed to breed and plant the Origold flowers? Just, that was ridiculous. And we've looked at whatever the mod is that shows us where ore generates time and time and time again. We're at the appropriate depth, but the gold just isn't showing up. I also think this may be before the Badlands was set to generate more ore than usual. It's certainly before the Badlands were called that. It may still be the Mesa biome, if it exists at all. That might actually be something good to check. We should see if the Mesa is a biome, and if we can go there to find more gold. And to find that out will require nothing more than our nature's compass. And to put away all our junk. I should be doing this more often. The menagerie leads to our mining tunnel, which means I don't need another tunnel that goes there. Diggers, gravel, flint, and all this cobblestone. I'm gonna put here. Hunter's pack, Stuff that goes in the hunter's chest. Miner's pack. That's a lot of redstone. So we got ferrous, diamond for later, silver, iron, lead, and stuff that goes in here. 1 sulfur. Not sure how that happened. Diamond goes in here. And Vintium gets pulverized. Let's see. Beach, birch, more beach, cold taiga, desert, desert oil field, extreme hills, flower forest, frozen river. Hell, we're not going to find the overworld, period. Ice, ice spikes, jungle, mega, 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 mesa. Then we have Mesa Bryce, Mesa Plateaus, Mushroom Islands, Ocean, Ocean Oil, Savannah, Sky? Sky shouldn't be a biome. And Witchwood Forest. The important thing is that we've identified a mesa. Let us recycle our bees. Including these, not including those irritating ones. What I maybe should be doing is taking some of these meadows downstairs and trading them out for forest or something. Just a different breed. But I'll worry about that another time. Right now, we have a mesa to reach and plunder. Witch hut, a vanilla witch hut, a village, the world's smallest village. It's just 2 houses, neither of which are remarkable. Oh well, interesting seeing you guys. Here we go. The land of hardened clay and red sand. Before it was even called terracotta, I think. You are a coven witch, not a conventional witch. Means you are relatively safe to be around. Right now, though, I just need to park. Hi. We are not going to talk to you. Because if I talk to you, then you'll give me a quest. Okay. This henge was destroyed by a lake appearing in it. There's supposed to be a little cauldron set up in there, a dispenser to hide loot. I just picked up the loot when the dispenser was destroyed by World Gen. And the icing on it all is there's no witch spawner. So what I'm going to do here is just find a spot. And I think I'm going to go south to where it's a little lower down to the ground. Because I don't want to be digging hardened clay all day. And above sea level, mesas are mostly hardened clay. We found a way down. That leads to lava, which makes it less of a way down. But maybe we can work with this pit anyway. This is very sloppy mining, by the way. I don't know what just happened there. Alright, let me get a cobble stack. So we can go back up, dig the 4th and 5th blocks of this shaft, and make it look more respectable. The important thing is we're below the hardened clay line. This is still a very crude and haphazard mining tool. I'm not entirely sure if I'm sticking to my own rules and patterns here. Probably not. I'm finding tin and lead and silver. That's more tin. Is that? No, that's iron. Of course it would be iron. And this is level 11. So let's break out and start plundering this depth. Right after I place some lights. Because nothing is dumber than having a creeper spawn in the middle of your staircase. It's like, why did you bother trying to tame the underground at all if you're just gonna let creepers pop up behind you? Tin, lead, silver, tin. We need all these. So it's not like it's a total waste. But the major thing is gold and diamond. Hello, lava. Fancy seeing you here. In the underground. Where you mostly are. Whoop. Must have double clicked that. Because I meant to turn off empowered mode, and it turned it off and then immediately back on. Look at all these metals I don't care about. Never-ending veins of lead and coal and iron. They are not today's targets, but we will take them all the same. I have one block of stained clay. Goodbye, stained clay. You will not be missed. Blue topaz as well. I don't think that's something I will ever need. I think it's used in ice spells. Other than that, it has very few useful applications in Ars Magica, if I remember correctly. Wrong spell. There we go. I think I need to put the Nature's Compass away. It has served its purpose. And let's send some of these things back home. Like this coal and redstone. Also the Chimerite and blue topaz, and this one gold ingot. How did that happen? also going straight home will be all of this cobblestone and dirt. Into the vacuum chest you go. I turned that off, and it immediately turned back on. It's not even a mouse button. I'm hitting a letter on my keyboard. It should not be double pressing like that. That is ferrous. Important, but not crucial. Not right now, anyway. Wrong spell again. I don't want to be taking smooth stone at all. If I wanted an abundance of cooked stone, I would have put Silk Touch on my pickaxe. Did it again. I turned it off, and it instantly turned back on. It doesn't turn on and instantly turn off. Holding the button down doesn't do it. Rapidly pressing the button down doesn't do it. Pressing the key and other keys simultaneously doesn't do it. It's just deciding to turn itself right back on when I want it off. More metals and ores I don't care about. know I have some smooth stone in here. We'll get some lights. You'll note that we're still mostly working on witchery. We're just branched into bees. I've barely done anything with Ars Magica yet. There's so much more to look into there. The bosses. Mostly the bosses. There's also many, many spell types we haven't even scratched the surface of. Mind Factory Reloaded, we've used a little bit for like basic stuff. We've hardly given it a second thought to its actual power. Thermal expansion, we've done a decent amount with. We made it the source of most of our utility. Oh, hello, lava. Can I have this? Yes, but it was risky. The thing about Ars Magica, specifically, is that it's tuned deliberately so that you can't grind it. I could go looking for some of the AM2 bosses. Well, more accurately, I'd have to make arenas and summoners for them. But I would get destroyed. Because they are designed to be fought with magic. And my magical prowess is... we're not ready. We are flat out not ready. And we won't be ready for a long time. Unless I start making spells that I can use a lot more and start farming up skill points. Because that's the only way to get stronger in magic, is to keep using magic. And I don't have very much in the way of magic that's useful to use. We're close. But the trouble is we're requiring new colors of skill points, which are best gained by farming bosses, or by leveling up a whole bunch. Huh. Lapis. Interesting. Useful. Not terribly exciting. Also, it looks like we've overloaded our miners pack. So let me get the lapis, the coal, and these AM resources. Anything in here? Oh yeah, we're almost full on cobble as well. And this all gets sent home. can also note that we haven't seen a single gold ore here. Not one. Huh? I must have come in chasing a vein. Oops. Well, that's fine. I think we have enough silk-touched redstone. More lava in here among the dirt. Lots more redstone. I don't think we're short redstone. We've done some redstone melting, but not enough to jeopardize our redstone supply. We're certainly finding lots of iron down here on layer 11. But as good as it is to be finding iron, it's not what we're here for. There was a case of it turning itself off. Yeah, I don't think gold is more common in mesas yet. I think that was added in later versions. Let's check one more time, make sure we're in the right region. Gold ore found from Y0 all the way up to Y32 at the same probability. So here at Y11, we should be finding it, same as anything else. But we're just not. Diamond is a little tighter, from Y0 to Y16, with its middle around Y8. So up here 11, we should be finding plenty. We found one vein. I keep having to stop to send cobblestone home. But that's why I made this chest, so filling up our cobblestone reserves wouldn't force us home. Also, while I'm looking, what are these good for again? Illusion blocks, which I actually kind of like. They're funny. Flicker focus, ethereal illusion block, which is the same as illusion block, but for different reasons. Conduits, batteries, Everstone, which is fascinating stuff. Particle emitters, decorative only. Goggles, which we don't need, and a flicker lure. That's it. That's all the uses of Chimerite, except for as spell components. As for blue topaz, flicker focus, Everstone, the Oculus, and inventory rearrangement crystals, which I won't go into, but they're fascinating in their own way. And there's the Magitech staff, which is just a debug item. So that's the uses of these things. Except as spell components, they have very few features. I could say, let me show you its features. And that would be a very short list. Twitch is also seemingly giving us issues again, so I may be forced to quit early or split or something. It's always a pain to splice my broadcasts back together when some of them are lost to connection instability like this. But there's not much I can do about that. At least it couldn't have happened at a better time. What we are doing is, frankly, not that exciting. A bunch of thrashing around with a pickaxe is not exactly aerial. Especially since it's all stone. We are finding tons of stone and nothing of value. I think if we want gold, we're going to have to go back and advance that gold plan. Because it seems we are not going to be able to farm gold any other way. Hello, mysterious hole ceiling. Might you lead me to some more gold? Iron, tin, mushrooms, lead and silver. Redstone, more lead, iron, lots of lava, no gold. certainly wasn't expecting mushrooms. Unfortunately, as much as I would love to go home and spread out and improve our gold producing flowers, they need gold ore to grow. So we're stuck looking for gold ore no matter what we do. If I could craft gold ore, that would be less of an issue. But that's not really possible. I mean, funny as it would be to take some of our gold that we have and craft it back into an ore block, but that will never happen because that would immediately lead to infinite gold. Because no matter how much gold it takes to craft an ore block, we can multiply the gold coming back out again. So unless it takes like four ingots worth of gold to make a single ore block, it's just not worth it. I mean, from a developer standpoint. This is ridiculous, though. We have not found a single vein of gold, but I've found 2 of diamond. Okay. I've had about enough of this. There's more than one way to farm gold nuggets. Let's go home, using our magical teleport power. Poof. Alright, Hunter's back. I think that stuff came from the broken witchery hinge. Which, horse armor we can pulverize. The saddle... I don't really care about the saddle. But honestly, it's probably better to collect saddles than to collect something goofy like bows. Digger's pack. All digging materials. As expected. Miner's pack. Bunch of ores. And some things that definitely go in the storage system. Vintium gets pulverized. Redstone. Do we want to keep redstone? We have enough redstone. There's 4 up there. 4 more would make 8. I don't need that much redstone to be able to grow. So we'll pulverize the rest and hope for some cinnabar. Mushrooms. Diamond. The diamond goes here. Investing in our future diamond supply is much more important than having diamonds now. Then we have tin, silver, too much silver, let's pulverize some. Iron, way too much iron. Tin, ferrous. Ferrous gets pulverized. Lead, copper. Lead pulverizes into possible silver, I think. Yes, 10%. Increased by our upgrades. Silver pulverizes into possible lead, right? Yes. So since we have enough lead, let's not pulverize the silver. Let's put it through the induction smelter. Finally get some use out of the sand we have in reserve. The ferrous and the iron get pulverized. The iron can give us bonus ferrous, and the ferrous can give us bonus platinum. Very rare and interesting. We also have too much lead, which I think the lead we will also send through the induction smelter when our current batch of induction smelter finishes. And I put that away. This single-use safari net goes in the menagerie. We'll go ahead and put it there. All I have to do is wait for this tube to charge. Which is still faster than walking here. Charge up, and zoop. Pulverizer running, induction smelter running. Do you need a hopper too? You might, honestly, at this rate. Let's open you up to input on top. Pound out a hopper. Make sure the sand stays topped off and the lead is ready to insert as soon as this slot opens. I'll even swap this so the lead is prioritized when the slot opens. That should work, right? We've got cinnabar, we've got redstone, we've got Vintium. We've got more tin. Silver goes here for future processing. Put the redstone and silver away. Which we have too much silver at this point. And right now, I'm starting to think that there is more than one way to farm some gold. Much as I would like to just play with my farm plants, we're going to do something somewhat inadvisable. I need more of these brews of luck on hand. Oh, we have them. Good. You guys. Give me gold. Give me gold immediately. I also wouldn't mind... Hello. Don't know where you came from. I also wouldn't mind more gas tiers, if the locals are offering. Poof. Where are you? That guy is moving really fast. Also, I didn't see this hole. Hello. Are you gonna let me chase you down? Apparently not. He is so fast. Take your fireball back. And give me these. Boy, that tore the landscape apart, didn't it? Ghasts. You. I know that one's below. We saw that gas down underneath. Why won't that go out? Yeah, him. Can't do a thing about that guy. But the whole intention here is that we are now hunting zombie pigmen. So if they don't like us, fine. I don't care if they like us or not. We want them dead. Because the zombie pigmen give us... not that. Gold nuggets. Oh, gassed. on solid ground. Okay, I hit that. There, have that one. Dead. Pop. Give me your delicious tears. And we kill everything. Also wouldn't mind more glowstone. Though it's not exactly a priority right now. You! I'm gonna get you. Death! I'll kill you with my own knife if you'll let me. Can we take that guy out? Apparently not. He's buried in the lava. Oh, he's broken himself free, but still can't reflect his shots at him. They're too low. You, on the other hand, I can get gold from. Come here. Yeah, get mad. Get mad and come get me. I don't care if you're mad. I would in fact prefer it. Because if you come to me, I don't have to chase you down. Hey boys, you mad? That sure is a lot of you. There are more of them somewhere. You all go down. All of you. And I still have more luck 3 to spend. Maybe I can kill this guy and get something useful out of him. Kinda doubt it, though. Nope. Looks like he dropped nothing. Hi. Nice to see you. Come on, boys. Where are you? The war is not yet over. Ow! He found me. We're also getting plenty of zombie heads this way, which is not something I wanted, but we'll take them. Are you guys mad yet? No. Let's fix that. Come and face me. Those gold swords hurt. And there's more of them on top of my base. Excuse me. If you could just not be there, that'd be great. Where'd they go? Did they all jump off the cliff? Looks that way. Yes, there they are. Well, with my luck potion running out, I'm gonna have to call this a successful mission. Now it's time to go back to playing with the gold plants. And do I have more Brews of Luck kicking around? I sure do. Stack some more of those up. We need to keep more of those in reserve. Bunch of zombie heads. Not sure what I'm supposed to do with those. Gold swords that I can refresh and harvest. Almost a stack of gold nuggets. That's brilliant. More rotten flesh than I want. Does that do anything useful? Not really. Not at all. So if I find a cleric that buys rotten flesh, that's where it's all going. We have 7 new ghast tiers, which is lovely. Some netherrack. Some glowstone and sulfur. And I think that's it. Really, the chief star here is the almost stack of gold nuggets. I should probably keep my Arthana in good repair as well. These gold swords are going to get processed once I grab some more sand. Slot up the gold swords to keep going. Bottles and compass, and give me my knife back. I still need to get some skeleton skulls, so I can make that charm to make trading with demons less dangerous. Other than that, though, it's back to farming time for our priority crops. When we're done with that, I'll have a look at how our goblin is doing. Need to analyze these. So let's bring them in for analysis. Oh, this one's done. Get me my bee scanner. And start these honeycombs processing. Alright, no immediate weeds. This plot is still being a pain. I don't know why it doesn't like this plot specifically. Could it be not well lit enough? Nope, there it goes. taking this torch anyway. We have a Meadows Forest, which is good. Meadows Forest. Forest Common. So if we take the Meadows Forest, we crossbreed it with the Forest Common, we could get a pure forest. We could start isolating the common. We could even get a cultivated, maybe. And yes, this is how bee genetics works if you don't have a gene lab. Players playing vanilla forestry were expected to just keep doing this and hope the rolls came up favorably to make the bee species you need. And there's always a risk of backsliding. As this process keeps going, you keep getting garbage bees that you need something to do with. Some way to eliminate these trash bees from your bee pool. You can always just throw them into lava. It works. It's not pretty, but it works. But mods that include bee genetics, such as mine does, favor less barbaric methods, and yet at the same time more barbaric methods of junk bee elimination. I'll get to that once my diamond supply improves. 546, 657. That's 3 points. You can't do better than that. In fact, didn't improve at all. 968. 1079. That's 3 points. Lepender is perfect, which I should have known. Redstodendron, 10, 9, 10. Did you get the 10th point? You did. Ferranium, 9, 10, 8. Nine, 10, 9. 10, 10, 8. I'm definitely taking the 2 10s over the strength point. No, I'm not. We've been over this 2 days in a row now. Strength 8 cannot become 10 in 2 generations, or in 1 generation, but both of these 9s can become 10s in 1 generation. So the 9, 10, 9, despite being a point behind, can max out in only 1 generation, thereby saving time. So our redstodendrons are done. Our lapenders are done. So I need to stop harvesting these. Origold is the next plot. Then Ferranium. And finally, Diamalia. And while we're in the area... Spider. No, stay out. Spiders just go over walls, and when they fall from the wall, they trample the dirt. So we can't have spiders in this plot at all. Pop. 8 Minddrake. Not as good as the 10 we got before, but Minddrake is Minddrake, and not to be ignored. These remaining Rhododendron I will take downstairs, because the crop is ready. We need to hang on to it. Mindrakes, string. Rhododendron is now perfect. I'm gonna try bone mealing these crops. I don't think it works, but I'm gonna try. No. Agricraft crops cannot accept bone meal. I thought that was the case, but I had to make sure. I check and see if Agricraft crops can accept fertilized potions, but that creates so much tall grass that it's almost not that no, not forget almost. It's simply not worth attempting. Too much mowing has to go into it afterwards. What we're also going to do here is get that last level of respiration and some magic resist. Everywhere I can fit magic resist, we are fitting magic resist. We still need better armor than this, which I am really planning on doing something about. But until it stops being a plan, we're just gonna hear me complaining about it. Maybe we try that now. There are two types of mage armor. Basic mage, which is leather, wool, and a few symbolic items. This is the better armor for the dedicated wizard, because it improves your mana pool, your mana regeneration, and gives you other random buffs and boosts that are largely situational, but they do happen. The other option is Battle Mage, which is made of obsidian, gold inlay, and essences instead of chintzy little symbolic items. Battle Mage is a bit sturdier than our leather and wool, but it doesn't improve your casting capability as much, and it doesn't give you the same elemental buffs, despite using more powerful items as the elemental representations. The primary benefit of both of these armors is that you don't have to worry about their durability, mostly. They regenerate naturally from your mana bar. So what I'm going to do here is make some essences, which means we need to remember how they work. I believe essences should be in here. essences. Perfect. We need water. Wake Bloom and water buckets. Also, our surviving Goblin Town there is still going to town on those blocks. By the time we get the gold to afford it, we should be able to smelt some more cobaldite. This is all we need. And notice it's empty, because it constantly forgets its connection even though the mono battery is literally right here. Anyway, Wake Bloom, water buckets, connect the power, and it should run now. It's not going to be happy about it, but it should run. Next essence. Well, we also need more water essence than that. So let me just prepare to make some spare water essences. The fact that it relies on water buckets is going to be a bit of a pain, because I can't stack the water buckets in any way. And of course it forgets its power connection as soon as it's done. Which effectively makes every single essence cost 1,000 or more. Because 1,000 power goes into this, that's its capacity. And then as soon as it's done crafting, it just voids its entire reserve, like that. That was 850 neutral essence that just disappeared. Because the essence refiner can't be arsed to remember the fact that it's hooked up to a battery. This wasn't always the case either. I don't remember when this particular bug was introduced, but it wasn't always like this. I suspect whatever code runs the block gets to the point where it completes the essence and then it resets the entire block all the way back to a I just placed it state. Which is dumb. I mean, it is. It's flat out dumb to do that. And yes, I do think I could do better. If I could get eyes on the specific code that makes this machine run, and I knew how to recompile into a functioning Java thing. Basically, the pieces I'm missing for fixing this myself are that I don't know how to decompile whatever Java code this is, and then recompile it into functioning Java code. But if I had both of those pieces, then I could fix this block myself. Let's see, fire essence is the next one. Coal, blaze powder. I'll make a small surplus of these too. And what orientation was that again? Blaze powder east-west. Powder, coal, relink. And because this one doesn't involve buckets, all 5 of these should process without it disconnecting from the power source. Which means I should worry about figuring out the earth essence, which is the last one we need. There it is. Dirt, stone, stone, obsidian. Dirt, obsidian. Stone and stone. When the fire finishes. We also need a lot of blank runes, those are cheap and easy. And gold inlay. How much gold inlay? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Of course it would be an awkward number like that, when it's made in groups of 4. So I need 2 of this purified Vintium, and 16 gold. Which we do have. Means I have 3 left over. Can I do anything with 3 gold inlay? No. This 3 gold inlay will be left over forever. There's the fire, dirt, stone, stone, obsidian, relink. Obsidian, 4, 79, 13, 17. And blank rune, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Do I have them? Yes. Wouldn't have minded if I didn't. It's always nice to keep runes on hand. And these can just keep processing. I don't care. The armor is made. Helmet of water. Chest plate of earth. Leggings of fire. And boots of air. For my last trick, let's see how many of our enchantments we can strip off of here and then move to the new armor. We get 36 levels back. Is that enough to upgrade this to where it was before? No. But we got close. Chest piece is projectile protection. The legs are blast protection. And boots are fire protection. We definitely took an XP loss there. And we lost all of the integration infusion bonuses. Is there anything we can do with this leftover Invar? No. It's simply junk. What a shame. While all this has been going on, how are our plants? Ready to be expanded. I really shouldn't clip so aggressively since these are easier to plant now, but there's not really much harm in doing so. All it does is slow down the next growth cycle. We'll also analyze our wormwood, since this is an ongoing project and it's currently very weak. What else is important? That I know of, nothing is really critical. Our common bees continue to be. These have to be analyzed again in our meadows. I'm really on the cusp of trading out some of these meadows for something else. Anything else, almost. We now have limitless lapis and redstone, courtesy of the farm. Really can't argue with that. Wormwood. We have lots of wormwood. I would honestly prefer to get it from this agricraft seed than its vanilla plants. Just because it'll take up less space that way and not be nearly as tall. Because these wormwood plants are hideous. They just are. Alright, you can stay meadows. That's our compromise. Everybody else, get out. These are all pure meadows, which is good for drones, arguably good for princesses, but not such a big deal. We're also going to need drawers for things like beeswax and honey drops. Not yet, but the time is coming. Alright, what else do we have in here that can survive in our climate? Modest is a desert bee. Tropical is a jungle bee. We can't use either of those. Valiant has important uses later. It crosses with Steadfast. How do we get Steadfast? Steadfast is a loot bee. And eventually makes Heroic. Also, yeah, take note of this. That is a 6% chance to get the Heroic species. And remember, this is a system where you have dominant and recessive genes. So even if you take a pure Steadfast and a pure Valiant and manage to cross them and get the Heroic strain, it's not going to be a pure Heroic bee by vanilla. It's going to be a Heroic Valiant, or a Heroic Steadfast, or a Steadfast Heroic. And then the drones are also going to be a whole bunch of nonsense and garbage. And what you'll have to do is take your half-heroic bee, whether it's a princess or a drone, put it into storage, and then cycle your existing Steadfast and Valiant bees together again some more to get another half-heroic bee, and then breed your two half-heroics together and hope you can isolate the heroic species. Or you could install a genetics mod and just use this machine. I mean, tons of RNG failure, or something that just works. Alright, I'm gonna get some forest bees. And we have some forest drones. Let me do 2 forest bees. And we threw away a forest drone. So, yeah, I'm going to take some pure forest. Ignoble is fine. Apparently all my forest drone... Okay, there's a... So we need two forest. Put 2 of the meadows back. And we have another Valiant. The Valiant and the Valiant need to be stored together. I also have a common princess? How did that happen? That should not be here. The forest drones should go together if they can. They can't. Because these are some other kind of bee. These are pure forest. This is something else. What are you? You have your half meadows. That's what's going on with you. So you can't be in the special bee chest, you have to be up here with the other hybrids. And you're just garbage. So we have 2 forest bees that we're using to replace our meadows bees with. I have 1 more princess that I need to replace. And maybe it should be the Valiants here, so I can work on them. This should be pure Valiant, right? Long lifespan, which is actually kind of bad. It means they're slow breeders. But I can cycle these pure Valiants and get more Valiants out of it. And this is just a pure common princess. Don't know how that happened, but we have it. And this basic Meadows princess can go back in there. Alright, these are the bees that we are replacing in the hives upstairs. And I haven't even scanned these yet. Or maybe I did and they already died. I don't know. Meadows, empty. You can be Valiant. Empty. You are now forest. Empty. You are now forest. And I guess I need to study these bees to see what they are. Maybe I can make something happen with this common. We have a Meadows. Yeah, we got cultivated. As its inactive trait. Forest Meadows. Common forest. So what do we do with this? I'm not going to be able to isolate the cultivated stock from here. Maybe I could do it by running this through the Neutron. And then this is just a mess. Maybe I could isolate common with it. But I'm likely to contaminate this with forest instead. Meadows cultivated. I guess we cross it with forest, with common forest, and see what happens. And then this one can go through the Mutatron. And should result in a pure cultivated. Should. The Mutatron itself is a strange device, and I would like to upgrade it to the advanced one so I can choose what happens. But that's like 8 diamonds. Worst case here, our bee just gets obliterated. It shouldn't, though. Pristine. Here we go. Pure cultivated. Excellent. Well, now I need another hive. Because we only have the 1 empty hive, and I want these cultivateds. This weird experimental bee here, I guess, can replace one of our forests? Yeah, we'll replace a forest with it. We'll replace it here, because these meadows don't need to be here. So the bees get more experimental and more advanced the closer you are to the right. And these meadows can just get junked. Kind of. Wait. Yes, we have meadows being processed. We have 2 forests. The meadows can go downstairs. Back in the bee chests. Bees are being. need many, many more diamonds, and probably lots more bronze too, to keep our genetics machinery running. How are the flowers doing? Ready for another breeding exercise. And these aren't, because they're finished. Hello, Wormwood? There we go. Now the ideal here will be to place more redstone ore so I can spread these. More lapis ore, more gold ore. I think I should actually expand this way. That way I can expand all of them, especially the diamonds. The problem with doing that is that if I have, say, this crop and this crop bridged by another row of crop, then there's the risk of the whole field being destroyed by weeds. Which is why I've been very careful to leave single block gaps between every experimentation block. I have had my entire farm destroyed by weeds more than once, and it's really not an experience I want to repeat. Okay, the Fereniums are ready. There's a creeper. Creeper, where did you come? Are you the same creeper that was... You are. You were the same creeper I heard earlier playing around in my ember moss. We heard it wandering around. I just thought it had left. Alright. This is ready. We'll go study it. The rest of these should be fine in the amount of time that takes. Unidentified Ferenium. 10-10-9. From 9-10-9. It's a step up. It's not perfect yet, but we only have 1 point to go before it is. This has sprouted weeds twice. What a pain. Is there anything else I can do while waiting for these to finish sprouting? I mean, I could take down and analyze, say, the snowbells, which are less important now that the Dream Realm is kind of conquered. But it wouldn't be a waste of time. $376,387, 476. 2 points over 1 point. There's also a cheat involving snowbells that I am not going to do, but I could. Snowballs and icy needles, despite having wildly different item ID numbers, are somehow mysteriously considered the same item. So if I were to build a storage drawer for icy needles, I could then put snowballs into it, and they would turn into icy needles. It's a little broken and stupid. But Minecraft has done dumber things. I don't know why it does that, but if you ever need tons of icy needles, and you have witchery and storage drawers both, just do that. Make a drawer for needles and put snowballs into it. Now our Diamalia is ready. Our Ora Gold is turning into weeds. And we can harvest these again for lapis and redstone for free. Lovely stuff. Still on a bit of a timer, because the Ora Gold could go to weeds again. So we're just going to do our Diamalia analysis business and go right back up. So from 657 to 667, that's 1 point. Or 668, which is 2 points. And of course, the nuggets. I mean, the end goal here is to get the Diamalia to a point where when it has 10 gain, that's 4 diamond nuggets per plant. 4, 8, 12, 16 is more than a single diamond per harvest. If we go up to 24, by adding 2 more plots, that's more than 2 diamonds. One more plot on top of that is 3 diamonds and change per harvest. Which is nothing to sneeze at. You know, 3 diamonds passively every harvest. And then I don't even have to do the mental math. If we do 9 plots, that is 4 diamonds per harvest. Because that's just how it works. It's 4 nuggets each, 9 nuggets is a diamond. 4 times 9 is 4 entire... You don't even have to do the times 9. It's just 4 diamonds. That's just how the math comes out. Alright, I can finally analyze these, and in the process, more base resources. And nothing is at risk of weed. It also looks like the mandrakes, the mine drakes, are open to being harvest bombed again. 10-8-10 from 10-7-9, that's a good one. Are you any better? You can't be. 10-7-9, you aren't even trying. Mine drake's ready. It looks like a field of fully grown. I'm not seeing any flowers that look like wilted buds. Pow. 10. It is testament to how stubborn mine drakes are that this entire field all dropped 1 bulb each, just enough to replant. and only 10 of them dropped 2. Mindrakes never drop 0. You are guaranteed to be able to replant exactly what you harvested. It's just not guaranteed that you'll make a profit. Our Goblin Boy is up to 41 Koboldite, which is amazing. Well, let's see what can be done with this and our gold supply. I said, and our gold supply. I have 29 gold and 8 nuggets. I don't think we need the nuggets, though. Alright, boys, I am coming to bargain. Hi. You won't buy pork chops anymore still, even though it's been days. You will buy coal for emeralds. You will transmute dust. I don't want you. You there. Ack, he left. You're one of the guys. 16 and... Ah! It's a dirty trick they do. A dirty, dirty trick. They do that right as you're clicking the mouse, so you're at risk of accidentally punching them. And when they become hostile, the whole trading thing becomes that much more difficult. But there we go, we're up to 8 nuggets. I think somebody here... Yeah, 9 nuggets and an emerald makes an ingot. So somebody's unlocked the secret of ingot. But we're not there yet. We're still waiting on enough nuggets to make a single ingot. And the goal is still 4 ingots. Plus nuggets on top of that. And you know, if I'm counting on eventually being able to spread these out, the second row really needs to be better. Because if I have top quality plants here, that I'm not even crossbreeding anymore, then there's no risk of weeds. I thought I heard a footstep that wasn't mine. Considering the creeper earlier, that was a bit of a shock. Okay, we have... Okay, this is at risk of weeds. So we need to do our business downstairs quickly. Pretty sure we're full on red. We are. Pink, full. Magenta, full. Wolfsbane, full. Put away the iron and gold. Put away the cobaldite so I don't accidentally destroy it. Analyze seeds. Fortunately, a lot of these are fast. And to capitalize on speed, we will go upstairs with all these identified seeds and deal with our numbers there. Ferranium is perfect. Good. Are you in danger still? Yes! Stop that at once. Glad we jumped up. So the Ferranium is perfected. Ferranium is now junk. Next row, Poppy. That's 3 points. Pink Tulip has not improved at all. What a disgrace for the Pink Tulip. Allium, 1 point of growth or nothing. I'm just realizing I threw away the Wolfsbane just now. It's gone. I don't have an undo button for that little mistake. So, let's go down and scan a fresh Wolfsbane into level 1 and start over. This is what happens when I do my seeds out of order. Fortunately, Wolfsbane is practically useless. So having a Wolfsbane setback is no big loss. Wormwood is ready. Diamalia and Origold are still waiting to sprout. We have 3-3-2 on the Wormwood. 4-4-3. You can't do better than that. 1 point in every stat is the maximum that a plant can improve. Still waiting on sprouts from our 2 stragglers here. How's the dark room? I don't come back here into the dark nearly often enough. Origold has sprouted. We can pick this up and go analyze it. I don't really want to leave the dark room until we're sure it is going to be weed-free. Because it's trying to kill itself. Weeds in the dark is not the Hobbit-based farming fanfic that I was counting on. But we're going to go downstairs anyway. The amount of time it takes to analyze one batch of seeds should be fine. We go from 10-8-10 to no improvement to 10-9-10. It's a step up. That's all it needs to be. Still waiting on Diamalia. Still waiting on Snowbell. In here, it looks like everything is... Nope, we're still waiting on Netherwort. Everything else is correctly sprouted. And there is one mushroom species left. Uh-oh, can't have that. There's one mushroom species left that we're still waiting on. But I have not yet begun to try crossing. I believe it's called the Nitorwort. Let me step in here. Alright, you've sprouted. Good. So like I said, I think it's the Nitorwort. It is. Nitorwort crosses from Netherwort and Orange Tulip on Soul Sand with a glowstone block below. And this could get us infinite glowstone. I don't know if this is a grows in the dark or grows in the light plant. And it won't tell us until we have one. Alright, Snowbell is ready. Diamalia is still trying to sprout. It's just that one patch of Diamalia that's left. Everything else is fine. What was it? Orange Tulip? Well, let's get the orange tulips going. Since they are such an important component of this flower that we don't yet have. In the meantime, I will happily harvest the free iron, lapis, and redstone. Ah, Diamalia is also ready. Which means nothing is at risk of weeding, and we can go downstairs in confidence. If I had installed Thaumcraft, and let's be clear, I don't really like Thaumcraft, then I could have made golems that would automatically harvest our plants. Imagine not only having these plants that give us diamond shards and redstone and lapis for free, but to have automated creatures that harvest this farm at extreme value for us. 668, 778, 679. Always take strength. 8, 10, 6, 9, 10, 7. You can't do better than that. And 8, 10, 6, you didn't. The problem with Thaumcraft is that regardless of all the weird menial tedium that our current pack has, like messing with these plants, and fussing about with goblins, and a million other tiny tasks that take forever and are simply busy work, Thaumcraft is entirely busy work. And the amount of power that it offers, even with a full complement of add-on mods that give you tons of other things to build and do, Thaumcraft's power is simply not worth the effort it takes to realize that power. And on top of it all, Thaumcraft has something else it does that's really disagreeable to me. It corrupts your world. Not in the code sense, but in the sense of there's like actual magical corruption that happens in places, and you need to interact with it to advance. You have to go to places where magic has simply poisoned the landscape and deal with that. And this is before you even get into the warp system and your character slowly going mad and having to deal with mobs that appear on top of you and attack you constantly. It's just not worth it. I like to be in control of my Minecraft experience. And Thaumcraft doesn't believe that I need to be. What is that doing there? I guess our sludge boiler filled up our clay supply. That's not something I expected to happen. Is there a way to get clay out of clay blocks other than by hand? I don't think so. This looks like a nice long row. We're just going to lay some clay and then tear it apart. It is the clay way. Alright, then we just come on the other side of our clay monstrosity and rip the absolute heck out of it. Does this give us more clay than we can carry? Because frankly, I hope so. Nope. Half an inventory worth, though, which is certainly a respectable amount. Take our free iron, lapis and redstone, and down we go. Look at all these clay balls. Is there anything we can do with them other than jars? Not really. Unless you like ceramic dye. Or petroleum, which I don't believe does anything. I don't remember what ceramic dye does, but I remember it being vaguely important. It stains glass, Mine Factory style. It also stains conveyor belts. And saying that's Mine Factory would just be redundant. Okay, we are now making a positively stupid amount of jars. And we've overflowed the hopper. Oh well, more hopper space will open in time. In the meantime, what else do we really need to do? I mean, our diamond stock still needs to improve. Our gold production still needs to improve. Our bees need to be being, but for that to happen, it needs to stop raining constantly. I never thought I'd be this irritated at Minecraft's weather. It's been... Whoa, hi! It's been raining non-stop for at least 3 Minecraft days. Or at least it feels like that long. It's kind of hard to tell the day-night cycle when it's pouring constantly. I mean, we've been up here doing things with our plants. Hello. Quite a bit. Why are there so many of you? Go away. Anybody else? Well, the rain's gone. But now it's nighttime, so my bees still aren't working. Also, I still haven't clipped the Ferranium and taken it downstairs, just to prove that it's a perfect 10. Oh my god. Why? Why? Where are you all coming from? There are no dark spots for you to spawn, and yet you're just kind of happening. And there's darkness up here, I guess. But that doesn't explain why a skeleton was right here. Who told you guys you could spawn where it's well lit? we have a funny moon tonight? We did, I guess. Ow. Seriously, where did all those creatures come from? That got very crowded. And my bees still aren't being, because it's not yet sunrise. Thou shalt not become weeds. 'Tis a commandment. These orange tulips are also important because they're going into the Nitro Wart. Okay, redstone, lapis, iron. Which of these plants do I still need to clip for my stock downstairs? This is just garbage. Can I get some XP out of this one at least? No. It's just trash. So we have redstone. We need more clippings of redstone, and none of our other ore plants are clipped and stored. So if we happen to lose our valuable plants, we lose them permanently. Like we keep losing the plants that I accidentally throw in the garbage. Can't have that. So let's grab an absolutely manic amount of these perfected clippings. You too, iron. And these three go into storage. Looks like everything else here has sprouted correctly. I wouldn't mind you trying to sprout. And then in here we need to harvest and analyze. How am I gonna do the time movement? Also, why won't the mycelium grow over this dirt? I really don't know. I might have to bring my mutating sprig in here just to turn these into mycelium manually. How are these orange tulips? 9, 10, 7? Good enough. I will try to create some Nitro Wart with these. The nether wart's not bad. Well, the nether wart's not that great. 4, 6, 10. The 10 is great. The 4, 6 could be better. Redstone, iron, nugget, lapis, clippings. I'll even move them down here so they are next to their respective ores as a kind of signal that I need to expand this. Now what I need to make sure I do here is not mess anything up. Because destroying one of these would be devastating. Okay, 4, 6, 10. 7, 5, 7, you can't do better than that. We're also keeping the 4, 7 to go with the orange die clipping. 7, 8, 10. 8, 8. 8, 9. 2, 4, 5. 3, 5, 6. How did I forget to identify that one? It doesn't matter. 3 points. That one didn't even improve. 6, 5, 5. 6, 5, 6 is 1 point. 7, 5, 6 is 2. And the sound of pistons downstairs means that our worker is still merrily working. Okay, for this, I'm gonna need 3 soul sand. Which we can apparently get from the sludge boiler. Which honestly really surprises me. Oh. One of them got taken over by mycelium in the light. I guess. And I forgot that I need 2 glowstone blocks. Glowstone. Improve diamond. Diamond plants, improve. I could build a viaduct leading into the dark building here. I could. But then I run the risk of popping out of my viaduct directly in front of the creeper that spawned because it's dark. So we will not be doing that. I also need somewhere to replant the Tarma root, and I kind of don't. I don't have that right now. Because the dark room is slightly too small. This is... I guess I'll put it here. And if I shut off the light, can it grow? Yes. For now. We need the dark area to be even darker, though. For now, though, we need light. So the orange tulip can grow. How about my Diamolia? Have I lost it yet? No. Our Origold, on the other hand, is ready to be analyzed. Considering these seeds are stacked together, maybe it hasn't improved. Oh, no weeds. Not allowed. I will take my free iron. The lapis and redstone we'll leave alone for the moment. Time will come when we need tons more. That time is not right now. So, have we gained our final point? No. The Origold has not bothered to improve. That's okay. It's only a matter of time before it does. We need our Diamolia to sprout here. How are the bees? Keep the commons coming. Keep the cultivateds coming. These two bee species, common and cultivated, are the most important for getting started. What the? Something wrong here. Oh, it's because this one's scanned and this one's not. They're still pure Valiant. But yeah, when getting into bees and crossbreeding and all the special species, common and cultivated are the starting point. Why am I down here? You have to cross two base bee species together to get common. And then you cross a common with a base bee species again to get cultivated. And then when you have common and cultivated together, you combine the two of them until you get, I believe, industrious and noble? Which is why I need more diamonds to get the advanced Mutatron. So I can force both of those transformations and not be stuck with one of them. Alright, that's fully grown. So now we can flick the light off and let the others grow. No weeds. Especially not for my Diamolia, which is currently the most valuable plant I own. Oh. Valiant bees are nocturnal. They are allowed to function during the night. That's a trait I can isolate and steal. Once we have enough of them. Not daytime, not bright enough. Well, it's not daytime, that would do it. I could make it bright enough, but then it wouldn't be daytime. And you'd still be complaining. Stop being weeds. That's the third time I picked up weeds from that plot. You don't get to be weeds either. Nobody gets to be weeds. I am the weed police. Okay, orange tulips correctly sprouted. Diamolia still waiting. Dark room plants. Still growing, which should surprise no one, because I only left a few moments ago. Diamalia weeds for the 4th time. Origold, ready to improve. Let's go have a nap so it stops being dark. I'm getting rather tired of the dark. Origold sprouted. Diamalia still weeds. 9 strength, by the way. Has the Origold finally graduated? It must have. These seeds don't stack together. So one of these is perfect 10. It's that one. This one will scan anyway, but it's definitely 10, 9, 10. Yep. Oh, you get. Stop being weeds. That's like the 5th. Yeah, it's the 5th time. The Diamalia is being very stubborn today. I should also really scan these guys and see if I can do anything with them. Good. Diamalia finally ready. We're going from 6, 7, 9. 6, 8, 9. Not that great, but a point is a point. 7, 8, 9. That's 2 points. And then the Beealizer, to see what's going on with these 3. Meadows Diligent. That is one of the next tier. We need to isolate the Diligent species. You are Cultivated Forest. You are Meadows Common. Neither of you are Diligent. How am I going to keep the Diligent species going from these? And the answer is I'm really not. We can try keeping the Meadows Diligent with the Cultivated Forest, so there's no risk of Meadows and Meadows joining together. And the only reason I'm carrying on with this experiment at all is as an illustration of how much simpler bees are when you have a mod that forces the crossbreeds you want and need. And that becomes a Meadows Diligent Queen, with who the heck knows what's going on with in the rest of its genome. Certainly not I. Our dark room appears fully grown. So So we can splay the Tarma out. And the mushrooms. But the important thing is these plots here, and seeing if they turn into the Nitor wort that we need. That's nether wort. That's not correct. Oh yeah, and it's too bright for this one to grow. So our Tarma here is kind of dead. Unless it's okay in this corner. It is. I don't know if it can grow here, but it can sprout there. And that'll be fine. That's all we need is for it to sprout. It doesn't have to be able to fully grow. Unfortunately, we're kind of stuck watching for the Nitor wort reaction. Because if it turns into weeds instead of Nitor wort, then it risks destroying the Tarma, since I didn't have room for the Tarma anywhere else. The other thing I could do here is go see the book. Maybe the book has some kind of insights about how to make this plant. I kind of doubt it, though. Yeah, we'll go peek at the book. We should be able to do that fast enough that the weeds won't kill everything. And in the meantime, we clip some celebratory Origold, which has perfected itself. Alright, book. What do you got? Allium on Origold. Blue Orchid. It would be alphabetical. So, Netherwort and Orange Tulip in the dark brightness range. It doesn't say anything about this particular mutation needing to be dark. It just tells us that the Orange Tulip grows in the light. And the Netherwort, excuse me, go back a page, the Netherwort grows in the dark. So we have no idea what light level the Nitor wort mutation has to take place in. Nothing tells us that. At least nothing in-game. An out-of-game wiki might. Oh my god. In just that amount of time, weeds sprouted up, destroyed this entire section. I'm surprised they didn't kill my Tarma. This Tarma couldn't die. It was isolated, but this one would have been. What a mess. What a mess. Almost had a Tarma root crisis. Well, now the orange tulip can grow back up, and we can try to get the Nitor wort in the light. Isn't there also a plant that makes quartz? Quartzanthemum. From Nitor wort and lavender. Is this a light or a dark plant? I don't know. We'll have to get the Nitor wort to learn that. I'm not going to worry about this room right now, though. Our gold is good. All of our plants, all of our ore plants except Dymalia are perfect. So I can just keep harvesting stuff by the 16s, which is grand. Grand and tasty. Especially if the ore gold will grow even faster, but I think the simple fact that it's a gold plant forces it to slow down. Like it naturally grows more slowly, and so having 10 points of growth improves its speed a little less than it would for other plants. The flower situation is also kind of getting out of hand. The bees are going nuts in that regard. It does have a cocoa comb, which has a 50-50 chance of giving us cocoa beans from the Valiants. Pretty neat. Not terribly important, but pretty neat. Okay. Let's try to Nitor wort in the light. After that terrible weed disaster, we really can't afford to take our eyes off of this particular experiment. And yet, we need more sticks. I'm going for sticks. Not stopping to read, not stopping to make more prop sticks. We just throw that stuff away and grab this bunch of prop sticks and go back. Diamalias are ready for more prop sticks. This is a weed again. No. Bad plant. Stop that. Could I place another orange tulip? And maybe that would make it more inclined to do the experiment reaction. Couldn't hurt to try. There. More tulip. And I'm not gonna... I could put one here. Not going to, because that would threaten my last Tarma. I do not want to lose a Tarma to this stupid plant that won't grow. Can I quickly kill this Enderman over here? There you are. Excuse me. You have something I want. I will take it by force. 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 No sprouts, no weeds. I really... Oh, that's it. It grows... It grows in the light. It grows in the light. Didn't expect that. And it grows on soul sand, which means I don't need fertilized farmland to make this work. We'll leave that light for now. I have to fill that dirt hole. These Nitor wart can basically go over here if they weren't, threatening the rest of my stuff with weeds. What was that? I saw like a huge amount of yellow sparkles over there. I don't know what that was. Orange dye, we can take one, the rest is trash. Pearl, nether wart, the crop, the nether wart, and orange tulip here is junk. Those were just parents. Need to scan this. Need more of these. Three, four, five. Not a bad start. I do kind of want it under the sprinklers, though. Because the sprinklers accelerate crop growth. Maybe the poppies have gotten to perfect 10s and can be retired. And I do mean retired. I know we're full up on dye. And they don't stack, so something has improved. 10, 9, 10, 9, 10, 10. I'll take the 10 growth, so it takes less time to get to perfect 10. Give me my delicious metals, for they are mine and I demand them. I could expand the farm. That's just what I need, right? More farm plots to worry about. I also didn't grab the last block of soul sand that I need to even grow these, so... But I'm taking this downstairs, so it's fine. Soul sand. Identify the Diahamalea. 7, 8, 9, 8, 8, 10, 7, 8, 10. nuggets. Oops. That stored all the blocks I was holding on to. I think we are going to go ahead and expand the farm. Is this necessary? Absolutely not. Am I going to do it anyway? Well, yeah. Two buckets, 4 bars, 2 ingots, 2 birchwood sprinklers. This means the small cactus plot needs to move again. Sorry, cactus. You just happen to always be in the way because I have poor planning. Sprinkler. 1, 2, 3. Which means 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4, and that is the sprinkler. 1, 2, 3, 4, and that is the sprinkler. And we'll go ahead and connect these two. Why not? Something's not right. That is not correct. It's 1, 2, 3, and that's the edge of the sprinkler's new territory, of the new sprinkler's territory. Not, and that's the sprinkler. Even wiser to count this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That makes a lot more sense. Also, I need to replant my Diamalia. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 sprinkler. And this is where we connect the channels. Place the sprinklers. Plant the Nitorwort. You know, maybe I can get away with growing the cactus here. There's a couple of block spaces away. Maybe the sprinklers will accelerate the cactus. Who knows? Our bees must continue to be. I need to keep producing more common cultivated drones for future mutation. Keep producing more Valiant drones. Keep producing more drones of every available type as much as possible. Wow, that's fast. I just planted those, already half grown. Oh yeah. Still have to till that. But everything in our plant department is going very well. Except for that one little weed disaster, but we didn't lose anything of consequence there. And the small but embarrassing fact that I threw away our wolfsbane seeds. I'm not even going to breed these, I'm just going to grab them and move them into a darker part where they belong. There you go, dark plants. Have a good time. Maybe it's not that these are surprisingly fast, they just look big. Because they are based on the Netherworld sprite, which looks huge. No matter. Things are happening. They are good things. We are producing gold passively. Diamonds are next on the list. In fact, we're already collecting diamonds passively. Not very quickly, but we can work on that. We have more diamond ore to do even faster. I think that's how many diamond ore I want to keep in reserve for this purpose. Because that's 5 plus the 4 we have, which makes 9. And 9 is 4 diamonds harvest. This remaining 3 we will store. And we'll silk touch a bunch more of those, and eventually get a luck potion on and shred them all. But for now, we have run late several times. We have stopped early, very early, once. I think now is a pretty comfortable time to close things down for the day. It's very nearly that time anyway. And we're looking good. We're looking very good. Gold is, well, it needs to come back up faster. Iron is great. Oh yeah, and we have all these freaking tons of jars that I can store, including these, and the Vintium. So that just all goes in there, and we've overflowed the jar storage. Which conveniently is also the clay storage. So let me think here. What else am I going to collect tons of? Foul fumes, I think. I think foul fumes are going to be a big one. You something something gypsum, right? Yes. Quick climb. Okay. So what I'm gonna do here, we need to find one of these drawers that we can lock and upgrade. I think that's going to be this one, which means I need to move some stuff around and grab the key. Upgrade template, we'll need sticks. Oh, I have soul sand here, which I don't need to have there. Sticks is our ridiculous wood stockpile. And we don't want the void, we want storage up. I must have these backwards. Yes. Okay, so here's how this is going to look. You get unlocked. We are taking down the Mutandis and moving it over here. That is all the Mutandis. Foul Fumes can go up here, which means this has to be unlocked so I can void that slot. We will put the purified milk there. Hopefully I remember that's what that is. Let me actually move this over. There. Wood ash and foul fume. Clay. Clay jars. These items are all logically connected. Now we upgrade this, lock it, deposit the rest of our jars, deposit the rest of the clay. Now you are soul sand, which means you're in kind of a weird place. The soul sand is weird anyway. Gypsum. I actually want to put gypsum in that slot. Soul sand can go above it. Put the mycelium here, the podzol, and then we just have this weird junk dirt that doesn't stack with existing dirt. Really don't understand that one. It's also maxed out, so there's more of this stuff somewhere. It's not with our regular dirt. There it is. This stuff is just trash. It's just trash. So in addition to all the fancy, funky, dirty stuff that we're collecting, like this huge amount of decaying wheat, 5 stacks, I need a void upgrade on whatever drawer this junk dirt goes in. And the void upgrade will apply to other items that we get in mass bulk out of the sludge boiler. At this very moment, I don't know what items qualify. But the bottom line is we need a... I mean, this dirt is just so weird. Dirt 3, special data 1. You place it, and it's just regular dirt. You pick it up, and it's regular dirt again. It loses that weird metadata flag. Why? Why do you exist, strange bonus dirt? I don't get it. It's Mine Factory Reloaded's fault. It's coming from the sludge boiler. I don't know what the point is of the metadata tag on that dirt, but we have it. We have to deal with it. The gypsum can go down here, actually, because I have to deliberately make that. We'll put weird garbage dirt here. And I think this is the move. This is the one we lock. Maybe we lock both of these and void upgrade them both. That's acceptable. Void upgrades are 2 obsidian each. With this, we no longer have overflow trash dirt. Like this over here, that we just got more of. But as of this moment, trash dirt overflow is a thing of the past. I think the last thing I will try knocking out is getting some of these. Shows fill level. The trouble with that is how many comparators it costs. 2 per. And how many of those am I going to need? A bunch. A bunch. 18, 20, 22, 24, 26, 28, 30, 32, 34, 36, 38, 40, 42, 44, 46, 48, 50, 52, 54, 56, 58, 60 comparators to make that. That's a lot of stone. Better get cracking on that whole thing, I suppose. $60 comparators is 3 times 60 redstone torches. And then another 60 redstone besides for the added component. It's lots of sticks. I need lots of sticks. This is going to be all the redstone torches we need for this positively ridiculous upgrade. It's not my fault it demands this many torches. And then what am I still missing? More sticks. Lots more sticks. Well, I'm glad I have all this stupid amount of wood. On top of all of that, it's made from upgrade templates. Which means I need more drawers for the express purpose of turning them into upgrade templates. Which means I need more chests for the express purpose of turning them into drawers for turning them into upgrade templates. I think it's time to have a word with the sawmill about even more birchwood. Some of the stone will do some good, though. We'll start reducing our inventory. Bam, comparators. And those comparators become some of our upgrades. And more is still necessary. More chests. To become more upgrades. More sticks. More everything. We're still waiting on the rest of the stone. No, we're not. Stone's done. The more birchwood is coming. Maybe we'll need it, maybe we won't. It's good to have it in reserve. More comparators. Starting to wonder if I brought enough. Well, that's 30 upgrades. Is that how many I wanted? Oh, that's full. I can tell that at a glance now. I did not know before. All of our witchy woods are full. The oak and spruce, not so much, because the oak and spruce is not automated like the witchy woods are. These are nowhere near full, because they count their storage by the block. Now the rack is half full. Isn't this great? Now we have great knowledge of what is full and what isn't. And I guess the last two we have here are for the last two that have anything in them. Even though I don't expect this one to ever fill. And, well, that one could. So I guess I have one extra, which I suppose I intend to place here. Though what will go there, I don't yet know. What a resource adventure that has been. and the key. It's also about time we refilled our stack of food here. Bingo. I have the cooked pork chops now. I think it would also behoove us to make a void upgrade for our egg farm upstairs, because the eggs up there are getting a little out of hand. But maybe we'll save that for the time, because now it is a good time to be closing down. I'm not sure what our goals are for tomorrow. We'll probably have to advance further on the diamond front, so we can continue to advance on the bee genetics front. Other than that, we'll keep harvesting gold, obviously, so we can continue to pay for cobaldite upgrades. It seems we may also need to farm some emeralds from villagers, so we can pay for cobalt ingots. Cobaldite. Another spell book and a few spells to take with us to the Dream Realm may also be in order. I don't really consider that a priority. These are all thoughts for the future. Thoughts for the future. We are nowhere near done with this mod pack yet. There's still so much to see. We haven't even gotten into the physical transformations available from Witchery. So, not sure what the future holds just yet, but we'll find out next time. I'll see you on Wednesday. Until then.